It's your guy Bendu, kind of in a different setting right now. I'm at my mother's house for Christmas and everything. Merry Christmas to y'all. I'm recording this on Christmas. But wanted to make a video today about this Donald Trump interview with Candace Owens. So everybody, all the liberals are picking up, I'm about to drink a beer, guys, so don't judge me. But everybody's picking up on the aspect of this when it comes to the vax stuff. When Candace Owens asked him about the vaccine, which I already knew Donald Trump was pro-vaccine because the vaccines were made under him. He was the guy that approved Operation Warp Speed, which is part of the reason why I, me personally, I'm kind of, I raise my skepticism of the vaccines over that. Not because it's Donald Trump making the vaccines, but because of the protocols that's involved with Operation Warp Speed and the people involved with it as well. But regardless, not here to talk about that, particularly today. I wanted to talk about the Assange conversation they had. So Candace Owens raised the question about why Donald Trump didn't pardon Julian Assange when he could have. So I'm going to go ahead and play that clip for y'all right now and come back and get my thoughts on it.
I want to ask you, in terms of talking about this corruption, by the way, a name that comes to mind in the news recently is Julian Assange. He was exposing this corruption early on. He's had his life ruined because of it. It's a really sad story. Edward Snowden, think about that bravery. For me, I was quite young when that was going on. But the idea of saying, hey, whistleblowing, actually, we've got some corruption going on. They're not being honest with the American people. You could have had a chance to pardon these individuals. Why decide not to in that moment?
You have two sides of it. In one case, you have sort of a spy deal going on, and in another case, you have somebody that's exposing real corruption.
Right.
I feel a little bit, I won't say which one, but I feel a little bit more strongly about one than the other.
Right.
And you probably understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But I could have done it, but I will say you have people on both sides of that issue, good people on both sides, and you have some bad people on one side. But I decided to let that one ride, let the courts work it out.
So there you have Donald Trump giving the most bitch-ass, honestly, almost non-response. He almost answered that question like a Democrat, if you ask me. Because it's like, he doesn't, so he talks about how one was kind of like a spy thing, had spy dealings and everything like that. And the other one is something I actually care about, and I'm not going to, and he doesn't, he doesn't allude, he's not going to tell you which one he which one he cares about and which one he's just chalking up as spy stuff. But I'm kind of surprised Candace Owens even asked him this question, to be completely honest with you. I know Assange is, he's been in the news recently as something that, me personally, I've been talking about because I think it's, I think it's important in the realm of, journalism and things like that. But I'm kind of surprised she brought it up. You never hear right-wingers talking about, right-wing commentators and pundits specifically talking about Julian Assange, except when when it's politically beneficial for them to talk about Julian Assange. So kind of surprising. That was a surprising aspect of this. But Donald Trump, like I said, Donald Trump's answer, that's the most bitch-ass answer I've ever heard, bro. At least Democrats are straight up how they feel about Julian Assange. That was like I said, he kind of answered that like a Democrat, giving an answer with a non-answer. Donald Trump was doing his best Obama impersonation right there. So that's some bullshit. And it's like, bro, you had the power to pardon this guy. He had the power to pardon both Assange and Snowden. And he didn't do it. Now, a lot of Donald Trump supporters, the whole aura around him was that, he's taking on the deep state. He's fighting back against the intelligence officials that are pushing the Russiagate narrative. More on Russiagate in a couple minutes, because I'm actually going to get to that. But, he's pushing back on the deep state, blah, 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 this, that, and the third, which I was trying to tell these people, for a while, once I got hip to Donald Trump, because as a lot of y'all on the channel know, I used to be a Trump supporter, but I got hip to him. One, because I kind of had another political awakening where I realized my politics are actually more left-leaning. I like Donald Trump because he was talking about universal health care and talking about single-payer health care specifically. I like Donald Trump because he was talking about ending the wars. At the time, you know, back then I was a huge China hater. I was a huge China hawk. You know, I thought China was the cause of all the bad shit that happens in our country. So I liked him for his stances on China. But, you know, again, as my stances on China evolved, you know, that was one of the aspects I didn't really fuck with him about. Because even when I was still a China hawk, when he was doing the whole, like, the trade war with them and everything, it was hurting American farmers and conflicting with his America first, like, agenda and narrative and everything. So that was always kind of weird to me. Like, it's America first, but you're hurting farmers and you're bailing out corporate farmers, but not family farmers. So, you know, that was weird to me. But again, this is like Donald Trump not answering the question. And it's funny too, because he's kind of distanced himself from the Julian Assange WikiLeaks stuff. Not saying like he was somebody, you know, out there putting his arm around Assange like that, but he was cheering them on when they were doing, you know, the WikiLeaks, when they were doing the leaks against Hillary Clinton and the DNC, you know, when it was politically advantageous for him to do so. And here's another video. I've played it on the channel before, but I'm going to play it again. But here's Donald Trump basically like pretending like he doesn't know what WikiLeaks is when asked about it. I forgot. I think this was around when Assange got arrested, if I'm not mistaken. So check this video out.
Do you still love WikiLeaks?
I know nothing about WikiLeaks. It's not my thing.
WikiLeaks! I love WikiLeaks. Looks like Bernie got a little bit of a bad deal based on WikiLeaks, right?
They want to distract us from WikiLeaks. It's been amazing what's coming out on WikiLeaks.
And all you have to do is take a look at WikiLeaks and just see what they said about Bernie Sanders.
Even Chelsea Clinton, the WikiLeaks email show, expressed serious concerns about conflicts of interest at the Clinton Foundation and the State Department.
I know there is something having to do with Julian Assange. I've been seeing what's happened with Assange, and that will be a determination, I would imagine, mostly by the Attorney General, who's doing an excellent job. So he'll be making a determination. I know nothing really about him. It's not my deal in life.
So clearly you can see the guy, like, again, when it's politically advantageous for him, oh, WikiLeaks this, WikiLeaks that, then when it's not, I don't know who he is. You feel me? Like, it's like, huh, what, huh? I can't hear you talk like that type of bullshit. Like, so I genuinely like thought he might have pardoned Assange. I really thought he was going to do it, but of course he didn't. And then also in that answer he gave Candace Owens, though, he kind of pushes Russiagate. So again, he doesn't discern whether, you know, which one he actually cares about, whether it's Snowden or Assange, and which one he just chalks up as spy stuff, as he says. But if he's chalking Assange up to just spy stuff, that's funny to me, because he's basically pushing Russiagate if that is what he's doing. Because one of the core aspects of Russiagate, you know, one of the conspiracy theory that liberals were pushing, which was Russiagate, was that Julian Assange received the DNC leaks and the Hillary leaks from Russian intelligence. That's like the hallmark of why liberals like don't, especially liberal media, don't stand up for Assange and condemn him, and even in some cases hope he gets, you know, a life sentence in prison and things like that, because they think he's a freaking Russian asset or whatever. Which he repeatedly has said. Assange and WikiLeaks have repeatedly come out and said, our source is not Russia. Our source is not Russia. And it's actually, I've seen reports where they said it's more likely that his source is actually somebody within the DNC. Because Bill Binney, the great Bill Binney, was talking about this. He went on Jimmy Dore's show recently. I may clip this in, so like y'all may be seeing a clip playing, like cut me off and play. But he was like explaining that, you know, based upon, it's basically physically impossible to send that much data, you know, all the way from Russia to the UK or the United States and things like that. Whereas it's more plausible that, and they're like, because of the drivers and things like that, there was no indication that this was information that was sent, but that it was more of an indication that this actually came from the actual hard drives within the DNC in Washington, D.C., or, you know, wherever the hard drives were. I believe it was in D.C. So it's more likely that it came from there, which is fascinating, because that would mean that it's actually a whistleblower within the DNC. So that's extremely fascinating to know. But again, the reason why I bring all that up is because if Donald Trump is chalking, you know, either way, chalking either Assange or Snowden up to just spy stuff is ridiculous, because what Snowden revealed was mass surveillance on the populace. And of course, what Julian Assange revealed is a lot of things. Julian Assange took down freaking pedophiles, bro. I think that's part of the reason why they don't like him as well. But you know, this guy took down pedophiles. This guy took down, you know, exposed, you know, war crimes the United States and the Western allies were doing. All types of corruption, the diplomatic cables from the United States, which basically showed that they were spying on, that the United States were, they were spying on, you know, like foreign dignitaries and foreign leaders of countries, and all types of craziness, bro, and all types of insanity. So, so chalking either one of those guys up to just spy stuff is ridiculous. But again, if he's doing that to Assange, like, I thought Russiagate was fake news, because it is. You know, Donald Trump decried it as fake news, and he's absolutely right about that. But now, so you can save face for not pardoning Assange to your base. You know, to save face, you're going to push Russiagate. Like, that's kind of like, I'm calling bullshit. And any of his supporters, any of Trump's supporters, you know, I don't know how many of y'all watch my show, but if you're watching my show and you're buying this bullshit from Donald Trump, you clearly do not have an IQ above room temperature. Like, bro, it's obvious what he's doing, and it's like, bro, you're another servant of the deep state, and that's just what it is. You know, he continued the wars, he expanded them. He tried to start the Iraq War 2.0 with Iran. He did their bidding. That's what I don't understand. And it would lead a lot of his supporters to understand that there's no legislative or discernible difference between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, because there's not. The only difference is one panders to the left and one panders to the right. And Joe Biden doesn't even really pander to the left, honestly. Like, he'll throw out the identity politics BS, but that's about it. Like, when it comes to economics, he's very clear where he stands. He stands closer to Mitch McConnell than he does with, even, like, I feel like even Nancy Pelosi is more right than Joe Biden, or more left than Joe Biden. So, but I wanted to talk about that because I found that interesting. You know, everybody's talking about the COVID, the COVID narrative behind you, basically him pushing the COVID narrative. So now it'll be funny if we see liberals get behind Donald Trump because he's basically pro-vax. He talked about getting his booster shot and everything like that. So it's going to be funny to see if liberal media decides to, you know, we're Team Trump now. That would be hilarious. But everybody's focusing on that and just ignoring the Assange thing, where, like, again, this is liberal media does not like Assange. They hate him because this is a perfect dunking opportunity. They love to dunk on Donald Trump. This is a golden ticket, a golden opportunity to dunk on Donald Trump. They're not going to do it because the liberal media hates Assange, because they blocked their Lord and Savior Hillary Clinton, Queen Hillary, from ascending to becoming Queen of the United States. And that's what it is. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close the video out there. As always, like, subscribe, and share. Emphasis on all that. Again, the Patreon is live. I got a couple videos on there. I may record some stuff while I'm here, while I'm here for the Patreon as well. So it's going to be some more content going up on there soon. So, you know, it's nothing behind the paywall. You go check it out, but would be appreciated if you would show love, donate. It's a great way to help support the channel, keep the channel going and things like that. Also, the QR link's not there, but go down into the description box. There's other ways to support the show as well, guys. But you guys support it with your comments, with your views, with sharing it. Keep doing that, guys. Let's get me to 1,000, y'all. Keep doing it. Let's get me to 1,000 subs. So, Merry Christmas to you guys as well. And thanks for tuning in. Peace.